Savannah. She's running from class. Which I talked to.
To the Bethel Basketball Media Day 2018. What we're going to do, I'm going to open it up for the coach to say a few words first, and then when he's done, then I'll open it up to you guys to ask questions to the coaches or the players, however you want to do. Couple notes, the Lady Pilots were picked to finish 9th in the league. Kelsey Brickner earned 3rd team preseason All-League, and Kamala Glenn earned honorable mention. And so with that, turn it over to Eric Gingerich, who's entering his 3rd season as the head coach of the Lady Pilots.
Thanks, Andrew, and thanks you guys for coming. We really appreciate it. We appreciate your interest in our program, and so thanks for that. I've got 3 ladies sitting alongside of me today who I'm excited for you guys to be able to hear from and for them to share a little bit about where our team's headed. We've got 6 returners this year, and then we have a huge freshman class. We had 12 come in, and the energy that they've brought just with sheer numbers has been fantastic. It's been exciting start of the year for us. Because of that, I think we've had some of the most upbeat practices that I can remember in quite some time, and so they're getting after it, which is really exciting. I don't know that we can ask much more from them in terms of the effort, energy category, and I think that's going to pay dividends down the road. So that's been they've been great to coach, a lot of fun to coach, and we're excited to test what we've been working on here this Saturday coming up in our scrimmages at St. Xavier. We'll talk a little bit about our seniors. They've come in this year, I think, with a renewed energy, and maybe even urgency might be a really good word for them. They're really excited for their senior year and want to make it the best that they've ever had. And we want to make it the best year they've ever had for them too. Our expectations are pretty high, and they've welcomed that. And so I think what we're getting from these two is exactly what we need from them in terms of their leadership on the court and how they've been working. Kelsey over to my right, along with her group, her peers, her sophomore peers, have been excellent, stepping up to the plate and leading the freshmen, showing them what it means to be a Bethel Lady Pilot, and putting the work in that it takes for them to earn a voice on the team. So our 6 upperclassmen, our 6 returners, have been fantastic in that regard. They have high expectations for themselves, and so that's exciting as a coach because we don't have to try and elevate it. They've elevated it themselves, and so that's been fun. Our non-conference schedule sets up really nicely. We have a couple road trips that are going to be great, I think, for our team to kind of galvanize together in terms of chemistry, and also test ourselves on the road in multiple road environments. And so we're excited about that. We head out to Lincoln, Illinois, middle of November, and that'll be a good test for us to travel a little ways and see if we can get that done with legs and all that, and a couple travel days under our belts. It'll be a good test for us. Non-conference schedule is really important for us this year. In terms of getting off to a good start with our young kids, especially. We have so many freshmen. Just ability to build confidence in the non-conference play. So that's going to be crucial for our confidence levels and for our freshmen to just kind of get integrated. So day one, first game, is huge for us. We don't really get any warm-ups or tests. We've got to start from day one, from our first game, playing like with an urgency that we haven't had, I think, for our freshmen to be able to feel like they can play at this level. And so the upperclassmen know that, and I think we're prepared well for it. With that, I'll turn it over to questions from the media.
Yeah, as Coach Eric talked about, we're young. We have 12 freshmen coming in, so that comes with a lot of nerves and comes with a lot of learning. So it's just important for me and Kristen to just pour into them with our leadership, show them what it takes to play at this level.
Being picked ninth, is that a motivating factor for you guys in the preseason by the coaches to maybe able to take it up a notch?
We haven't really talked about it. It does give us a little fire to compete, but I mean, it is what it is. Yeah.
Same question for Kristen. Kristen, your thoughts about preseason picking number 9 in the process by the coaches? How do you feel about it? Is it a motivating factor to prove everybody wrong?
I know for our team and just how much passion and excitement we have for this season, I think that is a really motivating thing. I know for me especially, that makes me want to come out strong, especially in non-conference, and make a really good make some noise in conference, which I think we can do this year with the size and group that we have. So.
Eric, same question to you. How do you feel about the whole dynamic of being in that position? I know that with 12 youngsters coming in, is that what they're basing it on, or only the fact that you only got 2 seniors?
Yeah, I don't know what they're basing it on, and I agree with my seniors. I don't know that if that's what it takes to motivate us, then I don't think that we're in a good place anyways. We believe in who we are and who we have on our roster, and that's really what it boils down to. We do believe that we can make some noise. We do believe we can outperform that expectation. So at the end of the day, that's all that matters. How we view ourselves, the confidence we play with, what that locker room, the energy that's in that locker room, that's all that matters. Number 9 means nothing preseason. Every team looks different every year. We have a new team. Marion has a new team. St. Francis has a new team. Everyone has a new team. And so I don't think we need that to motivate us. We've got plenty of motivation in our locker room, regardless of what the other coaches think of us.
Kelsey, you had a great freshman season. How do you go about equaling that level of play or even surpassing it this year?
I think one thing that to improve for this next year is, like, this summer I worked on my inside game a lot more, like graduating Kate as our post player. So just trying to take in that role and just putting a lot of time in the off season in the summer.
How do you feel like having to be a leader to you're only a year older than they are, but the 12 freshmen that are coming in?
I like it a lot. They're all super easy to get along with, and so I think they all have the same mentality coming in. We want to improve and be better. So it's really easy to work with people who are willing to grow this program. So.
Well, since you were picked on one of the preseason all-league teams, is that going to put like kind of a target on your back this year? Or?
I don't see it as that way. It's something to strive for, like they talked about. But it's obviously an honor. But yeah.
Eric, how do you see Kelsey's role fitting in the team?
I mean, Kelsey individually, she knows, and the team knows, she's got to fill one of our scoring roles. I know you mentioned, does it put a target on her back? She'll be in people's scouting reports, but what's awesome about this team is, and it's hopefully we're going to be really fun to watch with some new offensive stuff we're doing, but we're going to be able to spread the ball around a lot. We've got multiple people who can score the basketball and spread the floor. And so more than anything, I think there's a number of kids on our roster that benefit from that, but Kelsey would be one of them. I think it's going to be really hard to just isolate her on a defensive scouting report because of the number of weapons we have. So, yeah, I mean, people know about her. People know about Cam. But I think our depth this year is going to actually be a huge strength for us. And will actually free them up to make more plays than what they've been able to in the past. So.
Question for Cam. Cam, your thoughts on coming to Bethel, being where you're at now that this is your swan song. Should we go around? What areas have you improved, whether it be on and off the floor, in your time at Bethel?
On the court, I would say my outside shooting. I know I can get to the paint easily, but just working on my free throws, my three-point, my pull-up. So I think that's something that I've strived for these past couple of years, working on outside of court, just spiritually, growing spiritually in my walk with God. So that's something I've grown these past 3 years, going on 4 here at Bethel.
Eric, can you speak to what Cam was talking about, the spiritual development of your group as a whole, and how's that going?
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that our returners all mentioned at the end of last year This is an area we want to continue to grow in as a team, and we've done some really intentional things to try and meet maybe their expectations and their desires in that area. And they've taken the reins of it. They're leading a lot of it on their own, which is the ideal. They're making it their own, and that's important. So I've been really pleased on that end with this group of how engaged they've been and how much they've taken ownership in it. In terms of on the court, Cam's downplaying. Every coach in the league knows she can get to the rim anytime she wants. But what she's worked really hard on the last 2 years, and what I've been impressed, is she can now shoot the three ball with consistency, and it's going to make her extremely dangerous, because you've got to guard her out, and you know she's going to beat you off the dribble if you do. And so she's worked hard on that, and we're going to see that a ton this year as we spread the floor. Her ability to stretch the floor with a three-point shot now.
Eric, based upon the groups that you have coming back, in addition to those 12 freshmen, how likely are at least half of those freshmen to see quality minutes?
Yeah, quality is an important word. We, by default, will have to play some freshmen some significant minutes. But we're going to lean on a number of freshmen to give us quality minutes. That might be 5 minutes, and some people might see that as, well, that's nothing. But if you can give 5 quality minutes and there not be a drop-off in our bench, which we're excited about and we're expecting there won't be, that's going to pay huge dividends. To give a kid like Cam a rest for a couple extra minutes a game, I think her efficiency is going to skyrocket because of that, and now we have the depth to be able to do that. So instead of playing 35 minutes a game, Cam might play 28 and actually have better numbers. And so that's exciting when we feel like we have some freshmen that can fill that role, and some upperclassmen that have developed that can fill that role a little bit better this year. So again, I mentioned earlier the depth we're really excited about. Now, we are young, and there's nothing you can do to overcome that other than just play. And they're going to make some freshman mistakes, and we're going to see from time to time the inexperience on the court. But right now they're playing with a ton of confidence, and as long as they play with confidence, we wholeheartedly believe in them, irregardless of their inexperience or experience or what have you. Sometimes freshmen can play not knowing any better, not knowing that they're supposed to be nervous just because they're going out and playing. And right now that's what we have, and that's exciting. So.
Speaking of those freshmen, how do you see Savannah fitting in this year?
Yeah, Savannah's been fun. She's super coachable, and honestly, we don't have any freshmen that aren't. Like we've been able to be hard on them in practice and teach them hard, and they make adjustments immediately. It's been a lot of fun. It's a great group. Savannah's going to be one of a number of freshmen that are going to have to fill some significant roles, and we have full confidence in her. It's fun to have a local kid on the roster who I know already, like, a lot of the freshmen have been to her house already, and it's becoming a second home to some of them. So even things off the court, those are huge roles that Savannah can play in terms of helping kids feel at home early in their career and feeling supported. So that's exciting too. And one thing I would just add, with Kelsey being a local kid down the road, we'd love to have Northridge people come and support us from time to time. They love seeing old faces. It's really fun for kids to see old faces in the stands and be able to talk to them after the game. So I would encourage a lot of the local fans to come out. We've got Janine Schwartz from Fairfield, who's a local kid, and she was a big part of their historic run last year. And so I would say if you're within half an hour, 45 minutes, come see these kids a couple times. Support them. They'd love to see you.
Speaking of Janine, how do you see her role this year?
Yeah, Janine specifically, she's coming off an ACL tear. She actually tore it in the playoffs last year, and she played through it. She played on it in their semi-state game. So it shows she's tough as nails, and she wants to earn a spot here on this roster. her IQ is one of the highest IQs we have. She's definitely plays like a coach's kid. Her dad being involved over at Fairfield, and she knows her stuff. She's picked up on our stuff so quickly. She's been a lot of fun in that regard, and she asks great questions. She's going to be a floor leader. Right now, she's just trying to get her quickness back. She just was released a few weeks ago, so she's experiencing that, battling through conditioning issues and just quickness issues to be able to play. But certainly she's going to be one of those kids that provides quality minutes to start, and we'll see how her role changes and grows. There's potential there. But right now, absolutely, she's going to be one of those player-coach type kids who can provide great information for her teammates, support her teammates in that way, and give positive feedback just from an X's and O's standpoint. She's going to be a great floor leader and great floor general one day for us.
Savannah, how do you feel about coming to the program, and what do you think you can contribute this year to this team?
I'm definitely excited about playing here, and I just love the team chemistry that we have and just the atmosphere that we're creating on and off the court. I think that mostly with my height, I can help on the inside working with the posts and also developing my outside shot.
The conference has a pretty good reputation. How did your experience play for Northwood? How does that help you coming into this league?
I think Northwood has a pretty successful program, and they definitely coach us pretty well, and I think that just coming into here, it's helpful to carry that over and have kind of the same atmosphere, but have different changes as well. And I'm just excited to see where we get to go this year.
If there's no more questions, we'll ask the women to be released. We'll ask them to hang around, so if any of you guys want to do any breakout questions afterwards, they'll be available right over here. At this time, if the men want to come forward and take their seats, we'll get going with the men. We'll do it the same way. We'll have Coach Ryne Lightfoot say a few words, and then we'll open it up to you guys to ask questions for Coach Lightfoot. Just a few notes before we open it up for Ryan. The men were picked to finish 5th in the league, just 1 point behind St. Francis in the poll for the top 4. Paul Forman was selected 2nd team preseason all-league. We'll have Coach Ryne Lightfoot, Paul Forman, Trey'von Covington, Ryan Lutz, and Trevion Crews. So with that, we'll turn it over to Coach.
Thanks. Yeah. Thank you guys for coming out. We appreciate you guys spending your time, your afternoon with us. I think we're really excited about this group, just like any team is right now in the preseason. I think they've gelled well together. You look at this group, it's a unique group with 5 seniors that we have coming back that have been through our program for a long time. And then mix that in with 6 new faces. We got 2 freshmen coming in, 2 transfers that have been a part of our program, a junior college transfer, and then one that we moved up from JV. So we've got a lot of new faces in our program, a mix of experience and youth, which I think is always fun to have a part of your program. So, I think it's a group that could do a lot, can make some noise not only in our league but across the national level, and our goals are always the same. And we're trying to compete against a standard that's been set here at Bethel for a long time. Our standard has always been get to national tournament, compete for national championships, and that's something we're going to try to run for again. And I think this group's very capable of doing that. They've got great senior leadership, and we've got some other new faces too that can make a difference in our program. So that being said, there's not a whole lot to say about our team. I think we're going to be fun to watch, and I just encourage everybody to come out and watch us play.
Ryan, in what area are you different as a coach compared to the last year when you sat there at that table?
You know, I think for me, I took a lot of self-evaluation for me. That question's probably more for our guys to know. Hopefully they've seen a difference in me and how I coach them and how I approach every single day in practices and workouts. Having more difficult conversations with them is probably something I've worked on. My dad was excellent at doing that every single day, preparing these guys for the next step in life, getting outside of basketball and understanding that things are a little bit bigger than what's in front of us right now. And so just understanding, you know, what's next, but also just helping them be in the moment and understand a lot of these guys are moving on with relationships in life and work, and understand what does the Bethel basketball program bring to them that's going to allow them, prepare them for whatever comes next.
Same question to Paul,
Yeah, do that.
Trey, Ryan, because they've all had a chance to spend a lot of time. In what way is Ryan different than where he was a year ago at this time? Are you still trying to figure it out?
Yeah, I think last year there was a lot of pressure, especially with the year we had my sophomore year, Mike's last year. There was just a lot of pressure on Ryan to sort of live up to that standard, and I think it sort of wore on him. And I think that kind of translated to some other areas with guys on the team. But this year it's more, like Ryan said, competing against that standard more than competing against his own dad, you know what I mean?
Definitely, I think it was a lot of pressure, but this year, I think he's a lot more relaxed. I think he understands that, you know, that things are going to happen, bad things are going to happen, but we have to face those, face pressure, face adversity. That's one thing we've always been taught. Definitely, he's just always been that dad role model, so we definitely have that in him.
Same question for Ryan.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of pressure last year for Ryan, and I think one thing that he's really pushed himself to do is to kind of put a lot of it onto the leader's shoulders, and it's a player-run program, and I think he's done a really good job of that so far this year.
Another question for you is similar to that. This is your second time around, so your first year at Bethel. Can you surmise that, and what are your expectations for your last year?
Yeah, I mean, last year was a blur. Playing men's basketball at Bethel College is something that kids that grow up around here, they dream of, and so being a part of that, like, it kind of flew by. And so this year I've been challenging myself just to really be in the moment and embrace it all, because it's my last go around, and yeah.
An special type of excitement knowing that your brother's going to be following in your footsteps in another year or so?
Yeah, I don't know if it's excitement, because he's probably going to come in and just break any sort of statistical stat I had or anything like that within his first year. So I'm excited for Drew. He's got his senior year here at Penn, and then he's got to come over here, and I'm excited for him to see the success that he has.
Ryan, you got any thoughts on your placement in the Crossroads League Coaches Poll? Some people take a lot of stock in that. Some people care less.
No, I think it just shows the strength of our league. You know, you got a team like us who's got a lot of pieces coming back. Obviously, we lost a lot last year in leadership and Gage and some of those other pieces for us too. We're thinking we have a lot of pieces coming back. We thought we had a really good recruiting class and guys coming back, and you dropped 2 spots. It just shows the toughness and the depth of our league. And I think that makes a lot of fun for our guys. It forms great habits. There's no bad teams in there that have to come. You show up every single day, or you can get beat by anybody. We showed that last year, both us showing up and beating people, and us just being present and getting beat. So for us, it's got to form great habits in our league. I think there's no game off, which is exciting for us to be a part of. We don't really care. We talk about it here and there, but I think, like the women's program even said, we're playing against a standard. Like, I think this team could be really capable of making an impact not only in our conference but across the country. And so our standard's still the same. We're going to try to go and compete against ourselves every single day. We know how good we can be, and we're going to hold ourselves to that every time we take the floor.
Can you specifically talk about the 5 seniors as a whole, as a group, from their leadership standpoint, and then individually? I know that you still do a lot of individual workout with those in each area, and all those 5 guys individually improve.
Yeah, we talk about 3 things about our program. I think last year, as I was trying to boil down what we're all about, they talked about last year the pressure that came on us and as a program, and maybe I put unneeded pressure on us to perform. We really tried to boil down this year and take some time to figure out what's this team really about. And we want to be about hard work, we want to be about development, we want to be about relationships. That's it. If it doesn't fit those 3 areas, we don't really want to do it. And so for the 3 things for us, these guys are a living example of that. You can see them every single day. They show up, whether it's weights, whether it's individual workouts, it's practices, it's film. They show up and they're ready to work and learn. And I think that that's a staple of our program. And I think you can look at their careers and see every single one of them how they've gotten better. They've developed both on and off the floor. You've seen them become better people, you've seen them be better players. And I think that's exciting. But what's more exciting is about the relationships that we've built over Trey'von's 5 years and the other guy's 4 years and Ryan's 2 years. These guys have been around the program long enough and built relationships not only with the coaching staff but with their teammates that's going to live way past these 4 years here at Bethel.
Can you talk about Trevion being part of the mix? What kind of players are you going to be for?
Well, we think Trevion could be pretty special. He hasn't played a college game in a long time, but we think he could be one of those guys that can be an immediate impact. Guys don't really know much about him, and so that's exciting. I think they'll learn about him pretty quickly, about October 27th. I think they'll understand who he is and the type of player that he can be in our program. But I'm just excited for him. He takes a lot of pressure off of our guards and puts guys in more natural positions. We demanded so much out of Ryan last year, playing the point guard, and even Hartman at the point guard position for him coming into our program. You know, he's able to take the basketball and plays with so much maturity. He's a leader for us. We're growing in the leadership role every single day. I think he's willing to take this team over. We understand that even though he may be new, that this is a team that's his. He's kind of the alpha dog of this program last year in his redshirt year for us. And so he's going to put guys in more natural positions and allow Ryan to get back off the basketball where he can just go back to a scoring role, a shooter role. Ryan kind of took the back seat to that last year and played really unselfish for us and was our best defender for us, but also handled the basketball and expected to score. And Trevion's going to hopefully lighten that load for everybody.
Question on the follow-up to Trevion. Trevion, can you just speak to the fact that how difficult it was for you to not be able to play, but you had a chance to practice, and just talk about that emotional, that mental grind of just hang in there, knowing that at some point in time, and then of course you throw in the academic work that you had to do to get eligible, all those kind of things.
Yeah, I think it was difficult, but I had a lot of guys on my team and a lot of family members back home who was just helping me stick with it, stick with the process and know that something was going to come out of it. So I think knowing that I was working for something was better for me, and I was able to get it done.
Has the guys in the group helped you elevate yourself both academically as well as the new role that you have?
Yeah, they have. Actually, academically, I think the whole team has helped me with that. We have been starting doing team study tables, so that's helping me, do what I'm supposed to do in the classrooms, as well as me being held accountable and doing what I'm supposed to do on my own. So I think that's good.
Coaching staff and Drew Schaus, not really a new guy, he's a retread, I think. Yeah. He's back for another go around. Talk about having Drew back on the staff.
Yeah, it's been good to have Drew back. Obviously, we have familiarity with him being a part of our program, and having Matt a part of our program for 4 years and Drew playing for 1, and then coaching with us for a couple of years before kind of making the gauntlet of schools, going to Holy Cross and John Brown. But I think he's been seasoned for us. He understands the culture. He understands our standards. He understands a little bit about who we are, how we recruit, the relationships that we build with our guys. And I think that's just been important more than anything else. He's helped take some workout load off of me. He'll help do some scout stuff, some film things, and really hitting the recruiting grind for us hard now. But it's nice to have somebody that really understands who we are. I think Drew's done a great job of kind of plugging himself in right away and just kind of hitting the ground running. He was eager to get back home, be around family, and I don't mean family just biological. I think Bethel's his family too.
You look at Gage's numbers from a year ago, 16 points and 6 rebounds. And he was a go-to guy. Can you distribute that amongst multiple people, or can Paul take on a much broader role in that regard?
I look at Paul, and I think that he's going to have a big year for us on the block. And not only is he able to hit the perimeter jump shot and play from 15 feet outside, I think he's going to be able to play in space. And I think last year Gage demanded so much space on the block. And so with him being on the block and then him trying to post up right on top of him, and Hartman now developing an outside shot, I think we're going to have more space for these guys to play, and we have guys that can really shoot the basketball. So you'll be able to see him play a lot more one-on-one on the block with not a lot of help side with guys connected to shooters. So I feel like Paul's going to have a really good year for us. His conditioning and staying healthy is always a big part of his success, and so he's worked really hard at preparing himself and preparing his body. Once again, like Trevion, just really taking the reins of a leadership role with these guys. This is his last go-around, and he knows it. And it's interesting, you have seniors, they can be one of two things. They can have one foot out the door, or they can be invested in where they're at. And I think our seniors are really striving to not only have a great, successful year this year, but really diving into relationships of the future, too.
Ryan, can you speak to the fact of the new kids who are in the program, meaning not the JV guys, but the JUCOs, but the transfers, but also the freshmen coming in? Can you talk about, are you calling on them to be immediate impact guys and play lots of quality minutes?
I think this is something unique, and we've talked about it almost every day at practice. This is the team that we have 14 guys on roster, and every single one of them brings significant value that can help us out on the floor. They could bring minutes to us at any time, whether that's knocking in shots or defensive stops. I think every single time we look at that circle, I think everybody's bought in to their role, and I say that lightly because we don't know what their roles are yet. I think we're still defining those, and that's why we're in the position we are right now. But I just look at our guys and look and say, hey, I don't care if you're a freshman, I don't care if you're a transfer, I don't care if you played JV for us last year. For us, it's about putting the best players on the floor that can compete and want to win. And I think this is a group that not only wants to win, I think everybody wants to win. This is a group that really, really hates to lose. And I think that this is a group that we can lose with, and I say that lightly, we don't want to lose. But it's a team that just you can lose with because they're so bonded. You know that they bounce back. You have a bad practice, you have a bad workout, they come back the next day ready to work. And that's exciting to be a part of. They make my job really easy. I get to coach basketball, and they go in there and take care of all the rest.
Coach, talk about Trey'von a little bit. He took a big step forward scoring last year and really kind of seen as an energy guy, almost to the point where you kind of have to rein him back at times. Talk about his development last season and what you expect out of him.
Yeah, I think, Trey's development has been consistent. I didn't really realize the year that he had until I actually went back and watched film last year on him and said, man, he had a heck of a year. And his pace, the way he plays is just different for us. He's a guy that can play out of the box. He's a guy that can push tempo for us. But where he's made the most strides is defensively. I think he's a guy – I actually watched practice film, and he went back and blocked somebody out. I think it's the first time in 5 years that I've seen him hit a body. So he's continued to get better. We all know he can score the basketball. He's a microwave. He can heat up quick. But I think for us, he's one of those guys that, once again, has done a great job of leading his group. We put him in difficult situations and practices, different teams, and really tried to challenge his voice and challenge his mindset and attitude going into practices, and he's responded every single day.
Trey'von, could you kind of talk about how your role kind of developed and changed last year and talk about what you expect out of yourself this year?
My role last year, I had a lot of inspiration through Ryne, through Mike Lightfoot, talking to me, telling me things that I need to do, things that I need to work on, and I never look at individual. I'm always a team guy. I want the team to do better, but I mean, my role doesn't really matter as long as we win games. I really don't have any problem.
Their lives. You guys have made that move, so everybody knows where the microphones are at. So that's the good thing about Facebook is we know the personal things. But Paul and Ryan, just talk about the opportunity. It's difficult enough to be a student. It's difficult enough to be a student athlete, and now you're adding another aspect to your life for the future. Not in a negative way, but it's something that you can relax a little bit about. So let's just talk about those commitments and making sure that your mind still remains on your studies as well as basketball.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very fortunate and blessed. Sarah, my fiance, she's on top of me about staying in the gym, staying in the classroom, and studying. And like I said earlier, like it's about living in the moment. It's my last go around. Last year in the classroom, last year on the court, and I mean, being in the court's been something I've been doing since I was 4 years old competitively, and it's been a big part of my life. And I'm just fortunate to have such a supportive fiance, and I'm fortunate to be a part of the Bethel program where relationships are such an important part, and it's stressed. So.
Yeah, for me, really, Lutz said it best. It's just a huge blessing. Hannah, my fiance, she's made a lot of sacrifices for me throughout high school, throughout college, for my games, my practices, everything. There's a lot of things that she's had to give up for me, and she's been okay with that. She's worked through it with me. She's been nothing but encouraging to me, and it's a huge blessing to have somebody like that in your corner. It's challenging at times to stay focused in this moment while you're still looking towards the next. But again, she's just done a really amazing job of just helping me stay in this moment too.
Paul, you came from Cherubusco's not a very big high school, but you came into this college here with a great reputation, great basketball reputation. How have you made that transition?
It was a little slow. Freshman year was a little rough for me, but really the player development here it's amazing. We do individual workouts multiple times a week. We get in the weight room as a team. Even during practice, a lot of the skill work and stuff like that we put in, it makes it really easy for you to become a better basketball player. And I just think over the last 3 years, now going on 4 years, that's been the biggest part of my transition, is just the player development and the work that the coaches are willing to put in for you and with you. So.
How's Coach Lightfoot helped in that area?
He comes in every day ready to work. He's the hardest working coach I've ever had. He doesn't freak out when things aren't going right. He instills confidence in every single guy on the team, which is huge, especially for newer guys. And also it just helps you become more confident every year over your time here.
Ryan, I want to ask you a question.
Ryan or Ryan?
Ryan Lutz. You talked about last year kind of being a whirlwind and going real quickly, and from your transition from Holy Cross to Bethel, knowing that your reputation at Holy Cross, someone who could really fill it up. Last year, it was kind of slow going for you. We saw flashes of that. But how do you feel going into this season, and just kind of talk about your experience last season and this season?
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this year. I think our team is built for the long haul. We have our eyes on March while still staying in the moment, and I'm really excited. I think this is a special group. We've talked about how this is going to be different. It's going to be challenging, but I think it's definitely worth it. And I think this team has kind of bought into that mindset. And I said it last year, and I'm going to say it again this year. There's an empty spot up on the wall in the gym for another red banner, and that's what our focus is on.
We'll close it down. We'll close the live stream down. Thank you for joining us online. If you've been tuning in, at this point, we'll ask if you guys want to have any individual questions.